Bethany Mandel joins me, and I don't know if Truman or any of her various children are with her today. How about that, Bethany? Who's going to pop up this week?
I'm hiding in my bedroom and the door is locked. So everyone
Oh,
pray
that's
for
too
me.
bad. It's always more fun. Bethany, I'm going to play a Sesame Street game here. One of these things doesn't belong here. Number
Okay.
one, Northwestern coach Patrick Fitzgerald gets fired after being exonerated 72 hours earlier. Number two, Hunter Biden is getting off with a slap on the wrist. Number three, we still don't have the Nashville Shooter Manifesto. And number four, Moms for Liberty is being attacked as a fascist group. Which one doesn't belong in that category, or do they all belong there?
So I'm not sure what number three is. I only know about number one because I listened in on the last segment a little bit. So I'm gonna go with Hunter Biden for $100, Alex.
And the answer is actually they all fit together. My theory is woke culture has completely absorbed elite decision making, and that we never know what the reason is for anything because everyone's afraid of the woke mob. And I think
Yeah, and it's
Coach Fitz got, go ahead.
it's funny because the number one rule of parenting, which I think that adulthood is just parenting, but a little bit more serious. The number one rule of parenting is always you have to have clear and understandable consequences whenever anything happens, so that kids have sort of a framework within which to work. Because if they don't know the consequences, then they'll just keep on misbehaving because, oh, I don't know, we'll roll the dice and see how mom and dad feel today.
Bethany, I know you don't know anything about Northwestern, but the coach has been there for 17 years. We're going to stipulate that he's beloved. My daughter went to Northwestern, so I've heard about him for years. Guy Benson is a big wildcat.
Yes,
I've
I've
heard of
heard
they're
about it from
they're all
Guy.
over
Yes.
D.C. because of Medill, and everybody loves Fitz. I don't know him from Adam, but I do know that the new president who comes from the University of Oregon slapped him on the wrist and said, "You had a hazing incident in your program. You're suspended for 2 weeks." And then 72 hours later, he fires him. Now, we don't know why. And we don't know why the Nashville shooter shot up the Christian school because we don't get
Oh,
the trans person's manifesto. And we don't know why Hunter Biden gets a misdemeanor. We don't know anything about any decision making. I think it's all diseased.
yeah, I mean, this is with all of these polling indicators that Americans have lost trust in sort of institutions and like this is why, because it's never clear anything that's going on, and the whole system is crooked. And I hate to play this game because it's really annoying, but this is how we got Trump, because he will at least honestly say, like, yeah, this is, the system is rigged and it's all unfair, and he admits that he's a beneficiary of it. But also, Don Jr., if he had been doing lines in the White House, there's no way it wouldn't have been, it resulted in massive, jail time.
And Attorney Weiss is saying, no, 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 the fix wasn't in. But there are a lot of people serving a lot of sentences for lying on a gun application.
Yeah.
And they are predominantly black, is my guess, because of the over
Yeah.
incarceration of black Americans proportionate to their population. What do you think they think about the Hunter Biden plea deal?
I mean, I think that what we know and what the American public knows is very different, and that's by design. The mainstream media sort of doesn't really cover these things. They cover it sort of uh, in isolation, and so they'll say, "Oh, this happened," but they'll never sort of connect the dots for folks. They're like, "Oh, Hunter Biden has done all of these things." So I'm not sure what the average American thinks about this. Um, but I mean, the whole system is really crooked. The Hunter Biden story that bothers me the most, honestly, is his 4-year-old and his abandonment of his child, and the fact that Joe Biden has jumped along right with it. I think that's the story that will resonate with most Americans, and I think people are starting to hear about it. There was a great column in the New York Times by Maureen Dowd, I think it was yesterday or the day before, about it.
Oh, when the tribe sees its leader falter, the tribe pretty much wants to throw them out. And the Axios story about Joe Biden's out of control, raging temper, combined with the
Yep.
Maureen Dowd column, it's like the memo went out to the elite talking heads to dump Joe.
So it's funny that you say that, because I figured you were going to bring up that Axios report because it fits right in with your, like, he's a few fries short of a happy meal, like that explosive anger. I don't know if you're familiar with people who have dealt with dementia, but my grandfather, when he would get frustrated because he didn't remember things, he didn't understand things, he would explode in fury. And that Axios report felt very familiar in that way.
Not my. I did not have to deal with that. I dealt with aging parents, and they get short and they forget stuff, and you can't give them new information, and they don't want to change their habits. And I'll be that way in 15 years, right? I won't want to change anything, but I just think the entire elite class is diseased, and I think the American people are rebelling against that. And it's not blue and red. It's just, my gosh, who is making the decisions around here?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I also wonder that who is making decisions in the White House, because if you saw that video of Biden walking with King Charles yesterday, I'm
Oh,
not sure
oh,
that I'm not sure it's
oh.
Joe.
Oh, that was so embarrassing. But I feel bad for the guy, and there's no way he's their nominee. I just don't see it happening. Bethany Mandel, follow her at Bethany Shondark. Oh, you've gone over to Threads, by the way. Are you going to join Threads?
I mean, I have an account because I parked it, but I've never opened it again. And now they have all my data,
Okay,
so I'm an idiot for ever starting an account.
you and me both. That's two of us. Bethany, great to see you, but bring Truman back. I know we don't want the kids in the shop, but we want Truman.